For this lesson, let's reopen up our lonely page right here. We have looked at the ability of Dreamweaver using these options down here to do some basic editing to an image. But what if, number one, you want more than basic editing, or number two, you just want more power? And that's where Photoshop comes in. So let's look at this. If you have the Creative Suite, then there is a good chance you've got Photoshop. And let's say you know enough about it to make yourself dangerous. I love Photoshop. We want to change this image right here. So we select it and come down and click this button right here. That's in the Properties panel. So it's going to open inside of Photoshop. Well, let's do something obvious to the image so we can really see the change. So I come over here and I click this button right here and I go into, say, black and white. That's an obvious change. We like that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go up to the word File on the pull-down menu and click Save. We'll click through the JPEG option. Don't worry about that. And close Photoshop. The change was made. If we have additional editing considerations to make to an image that are beyond Dreamweaver and you own the Creative Suite, there would be an excellent chance you'd be able to do that. But let's not stop there. Let's say, for example, we delete this one. Let's get rid of it. Now, if I go into my files, I have originals, and the originals are PSDs. Now, we can't use a PSD. A PSD basically is a Photoshop document. They don't work on web pages. So let's say we don't like the grayscale one we did. We'd like to go back to the original, but we don't have it because we saved the original with the grayscale. But we still have the original here. Now, if I drag that into this area right here, you say, well, you can't drag a PSD. Well, actually, yes, I can, because it's going to ask me if I want to optimize and change it, say, to a JPEG. Now, we'll leave the options alone. We've talked about those, and you click OK. Now, we have a choice. We're going to put it in images of leaving it at the same name, therefore replacing it, or deciding we might want to go back to the grayscale one right here. So we'll give this one a different name. We'll call it maybe Fastnet with an underscore and call it Fastnet 2. Go ahead and click Save. Now we've got our image back, but we have an icon up here. Now what does that mean? It means the image has been synced with the Photoshop document. Meaning what? Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go back into the Photoshop document over here by double-clicking. And I don't know, let's go up to the word filter, maybe go down to filter gallery, have some fun, play around. Maybe we do one of these different ones. Maybe we're like that. We've got a lot of different things up here that you can play around with. You say, well, I like that. That's great. You click OK. We come over here and we close it. It will ask us to save it. We say, yeah, save it. We get out of Photoshop. Now you'll notice the icon up here changed. The bottom is red. What does that mean? Well, if I touch it, it means the original asset has been modified. If we want to update it, we can come down here and click this button right here. And there you go. Now, since we're working in Photoshop in a non-destructive way, which we were, you could go back and make the changes, take it back to the way it was, do anything you want. But this icon here basically means that it's attached to the original document, and that's right down here. So that's kind of a nice thing to be able to do. But how do you get these, which we do have the originals on, in that same type of situation? So if we update the PSD, it will update it here. Let me show you this, because we don't have to go through the same procedure. Let's say we go to this one right here. Now this one is Bodie Island, number 1. Down here is the original. Now we know where it is. It's right here. That's the original that we converted into a JPEG. If I want to make that same relationship to this one, so that if I go to the PSD document and work on it, it will allow me to update it automatically. All I have to do is this. I can come down here and type in the path. I don't want to do that. I can click Browse and find it that way, or I can use my target button right here, the pointer, come to this one and grab, come up to this one, that's the same one, and click. And there you go. If I now go into this one and make a change, it will give me the same option as it did with this one, I have now linked the JPEG to the original PSD, and I have total control over what I'm doing. Photoshop is a great connection to have to work with Dreamweaver. They work hand in glove. So I'll tell you what, in this case, we're not going to save. I'm going to come up to the word File. I'm going to go down to Close and Not Save.